Boom, just like that, like my friend Corinder, who's watching all the way from United Kingdom says. Hello, Corinder, and thanks for watching. And hello to everybody else who's watching. Yeah, we have an audience throughout the world here. United Kingdom. South Africa is watching. We have a hub in Australia, all throughout the United States. And, of course, our hometown, Canada. Thanks to all of our Facebook friends who have created those hubs to be able to help us reach all different communities around the world. Hello, happy Monday, and as always, I'm your host, David Burrows. Welcome to the show. I say it every week, and I'll keep saying it. Happy Monday. I know a lot of people go, Monday, oh, I have to go back. And no, Monday's great because I get to talk to some fantastic people who are doing some great things here in our community. And again, thanks to all of you who are watching today. Now, if you are watching, and you want to share your comments or you want to ask some questions to our guests, we are broadcasting also on the Video Show Network, the Radio Show Network, the Talk Show Network, and a few other networks right now, thanks to our friends, the Live Video Hub, who are hosting us as well. We will not see your comments unless you come over here to my Facebook page, The Show with David Burrows, as Corinder is doing, and you can share those comments here. And we like to talk to our audience, so we'll say, hello, Corinder. Yes, this is episode 428, over 8 years of doing the show now. And no, Corinder, I'm not using my background like I did earlier today. I saved that for having fun with Stephen Healy. And for those of you who didn't see that, my friend Stephen Healy in the United Kingdom do our broadcasting to community show every Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern. He lives about 20 minutes from Stonehenge, so he's a really cool guy to have on the show. And that's what Corinder is referring to. Monday, best shows. Okay, thanks, Corinder. And who else is out there? Oh, Danny Cacciamilio. Hello, Danny. Thanks for being here. And thanks for covering things on the weekend along with Jay Peckham. At the Sarnia Sting, which we are going to talk about coming up in just a moment. But first, let's talk about some other community events. Hello, Sarnia, Dancing with the Stars. I can attest to this one a few years ago and appreciate those who are participating. It's a lot of work. And Dancing with the Stars is back to benefit the Sarnia Sexual Assault Survivors Center this time. It's this Saturday, January the 18th, with local celebrities. Sean Robbins is in there. Madhu Baker, Ron Real Smith, just to name a few who are going to be participating. And tickets are on sale now. You can go to Eventbrite to get those tickets. There's going to be a sparkling reception along with some hors d'oeuvres. There'll be a Sting Suite raffle. And after the competition, you can dance the night away to a live DJ and band. Tickets are only $75, and once again, supporting the Sarnia Sexual Assault Survivor Center. And if you want to find out more information, you can also find, they have a Facebook page, simply Sarnia Dancing with the Stars. So I wish I could go to that. I couldn't go this year. I went last year, and it's a great time, and also supporting a great cause in there as well. I want to say congratulations to the Sarnia Lady Sting Midget A team, winning the Silver Stick competition this past Sunday, or over this past weekend. Several teams from all around came to compete. They would go on to defeat the Sault Ste. Marie Junior Greyhounds. And I haven't been to Silver Stick in a long time. And I got to tell you, I was asked, they asked if I would come down and be the PA announcer. So there I am, all warmed up. Boy, it's chilly in there. But I tell you, sitting there and just having a front, there was some great hockey, midget, Pee-wee and Bantam. It was just fantastic to be able to watch these ladies play hockey. Great hockey in there as well. So again, congratulations to the Sarnia Lady Sting Midget A team on winning the Silver Stick. Now I know there's some other Silver Stick happening all over the province, and there's a whole list of teams that won their division. So congratulations to all the teams, not just to the teams who won, but it was great hockey all around. And if you want to find out more, there is the 22nd annual Arlanxio Sarnia Women's Silver Stick. Boy, say that 5 times fast. I had to memorize that before I started the show. Anyway, you can get all the results there, and they have their website as well. So again, congratulations. And the men's Silver Stick will happen this coming weekend, and I'll have some live updates for you from that as well, and a couple announcements you're going to watch during the week that we'll be making about that. Well, and how fitting is that we talk about the Sarnia Lady Sting. And let's go into the Sarnia Sting. The Sarnia Sting, it is more than a game. They continue to push through, still having some struggles along the way. They did, they've got a no quit attitude. They keep going, but they've had a real roller coaster of a year, as you can see there. And they lost to the Oshawa Generals this past Friday. Final score 4-3. What an incredible game. I did miss the first period as I was at the women's basketball at the college. My friend Jay Peckham and Danny Cochimilio were looking after things there for me, but I did get into the second period. Great hockey, but an unfortunate at the very end to lose 4-3. Now, we did, however, catch up with Ty Voigt, and he gave us a few minutes of his time after the game to talk about what happened and what they would need to do this weekend. We'll take a look at that, and then we'll be back.
Here post-game with Ty Voigt. Ty, got to be disappointing for you guys. I thought you guys played a heck of a game out there, offensively, defensively. I thought it was, again, one of your better efforts here. Unfortunately, last minute of play there, just you lose those 2 points. Obviously it's tough. I mean, the boys came out great this night. I thought this was one of our best efforts also. I mean, we're in a little slump right now, but we should be able to pop out of it soon. We got the team to do. We're just missing something. Is it a case you just got to kind of regroup? You got 2 more big games on the weekend. Just kind of regroup and bring that same effort tomorrow afternoon? Yeah, definitely. Like our leaders talked to us in the locker room. What we did today there's nothing wrong with that. We just got a little unlucky today, and we bring that tomorrow, and the next day we should be all right. And like you said, you bring that effort and night in and night out. More often than not, you should be on the winning side of that game. I thought you guys deserved better tonight. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, it's just unlucky way how it went tonight, but we'll get back at it tomorrow and we'll see what happens.
All right, again, thanks to Ty Voigt for talking to us there. Again, I was at the end. Things happen in sports, right? I mean, I guess that's why they call it sports. It really was unlucky at the end there. So it really felt bad for them because they played such a fantastic game, but it's just that tiny little thing that snuck in there at the end to give them a final score against them of 4-3. But Oshawa, one of the top teams in the CHL, at one time they were number 1, and when they were number 1, the Sarnia Sting were able to beat them. So we know the Sarnia Sting has it in them. Unfortunately, then it didn't work out the whole weekend for them, but part of the weekend it did work out for them. As you can see there, they went on to take on the Hamilton Bulldogs. Not an easy team to beat, and it would go down to the very end of a shootout. And the Sarnia Sting winning that one 4-3, but then back the other way. It's been a roller coaster of a ride for the Sarnia Sting this season for sure. And they would lose to the Erie Otters. Final score there, 6-2. But they will get another chance to take on the Erie Otters coming back this Friday, January the 17th at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. The Sarnia Sting will host the Erie Otters again. And then on Saturday, a 4:00 in the afternoon game, hosting the Sudbury Wolves. So 2 back-to-back games. Of course, I'll be there with my friend Jay Peckham and Jake Chersky. We'll have the whole gang there, hopefully, bringing you the live updates live from the concourse there. And that your Sarnia Sting recap brought to you by Oswald's Diner, more than just a diner, and our friends Active Ears Hearing Center here in Sarnia, where better hearing begins with you. Thanks for their support. Wow, what a weekend. Okay, well, weekend and now the whole entire month, and we want to talk about what this month means to so many here in our community. This is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and sitting here in the lobby waiting to join us from the Alzheimer Society. Let's see if we can get him in here proper. There we are. Hello, ladies.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for
doing
having
fantastic. Us. Yeah, Marcy-Smids and our friend Christine Wright joining us here today. This is an important time for the Alzheimer Society.
It is. It's Alzheimer Awareness Month, as you said, and we have a lot of activities going on. We were at the Sting game Friday night, and we had brain trivia going on, and the goal is to be at events like that where there are a lot of people so that we can put information out about the Finding Your Way program. So that's where Christine can explain more about that, but it's where we register people so that if they did go missing, they would be quickly found.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead, Christine. Yeah.
So we have a relationship with both the local police, Sarnia Police, and the OPP have been fantastic to really partner well with us to make sure that anybody with dementia can be registered before there's ever an incident and they're going missing. And our stats show that about 60% of people with dementia, unfortunately, will go missing. And sometimes that's just missing in their neighborhood. But our concern is sometimes there has been some incidents where people are not found quickly. And certainly at this time of year in particular, we're very concerned about that. So we want to have current photo of the person, all the information where they're most likely to go. And even if the person's even early stages dementia, it's still handy to have that information ahead of time.
Yeah, well, and let me just pause you there for a moment because I have a couple questions about the registration. And what was that number again, and how many will go missing?
About 60%.
60%. That's really high.
Mm-hmm.
So that obviously brings to light a big concern. Now, I've heard people say, "Oh, well, like, should everybody with dementia do this?" Or is it like, well, not everybody with dementia or Alzheimer's needs to do this because everybody's affected differently, or do we just need to register everybody?
I would say register anybody who's at risk. So as long as somebody is mobile, they're at risk.
Yeah.
And often we'll hear people say, well, you know, I don't think my mother would ever do that. But we don't know if that might occur. And sometimes it's little things like a family member goes to use the bathroom and the person with dementia wonders where they've gone. So they go looking for them. They go at the back door of the house. They go down the road. They go further. And I think a lot of time family members always assume that these things won't happen to them, that something happens to somebody else. I've literally talked to a family on Thursday and said, you know, it'd be a good idea to register. And they said, no, our father would never do that. And they came back in the office Monday morning and said, guess who went missing this weekend? He was found safe. He was fine. But they didn't think it would happen. They really didn't. So we don't know who it will happen to. So it's better safe than sorry.
Right. All right. Now, to register somebody, I don't actually have to take them down to the station, do I? Just need some information from them, and I can, like, I could take my dad's picture down there myself and do that?
Absolutely. We do ask as a current photo, though. I had one lady bring a very lovely picture of her husband with brown hair, and his hair is now white. So it needs to be a picture that will help the officers, and they can have it right there on their tablet right away and get it out. And actually, it's good for the officers to have, but our idea is to get it out to the public, because most likely that's who might actually find the person quickly. And we've had a number of situations where people have walked onto the highway locally. So we want to get that information out quickly. We want to make sure people are alert. So you don't have to come down with the person. You can just have current photo and information, basic information. But if you call us, we can tell you what's needed. But it's just basically where they're most likely to go, distinguishing features. We can add other information after the fact if needed to. And people can come to the registry days, but they don't have to wait until a registry day to register somebody.
They can go anytime, right?
Yes, we don't want to go, oh, that registry's in a month, so let's just wait and do it then. Let's do it quick.
Yeah.
So
and nobody go missing before then.
Yes. So let the Alzheimer Society know, and we can tell you which officer in particular to talk to in both departments and get the person registered.
Yeah, well, it seems to be a successful program because you know, being on social media a lot myself, you know, you've seen these photographs come to light that somebody's gone missing, and you know, so far it seems anyway that recovery has been pretty. It's worked very well, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that's again thanks to how good our local police have been on that they take it very seriously. And I go to meetings in other areas in Ontario, and they have some good relations with their police officers too. But I just find out how lucky we are that we have officers that take this program so seriously and really promote it. Yeah,
it's a good relationship to have, the positive side of the Sarnia police, right? Because they don't always get all the positive in their position. So that's a good relationship to have. Can we talk some numbers here for a moment? Because I think that. And of course, I know I've had this conversation with you, but I think a lot of people have the misconception that Alzheimer's or dementia only affects the elderly. That's not true, is it?
We know that in Ontario alone, about 70,000 people, or sorry, in Canada alone, about 70,000 people have it under the age of 65. And we know those.
How many?
70,000.
Wow.
For Canada.
For Canada.
So we know that it normally our sort of our most people you do see is 65 and over. I guess it's also what's your definition of old? I know mine changes as I get older myself, but so I 65 doesn't seem that old anymore. But so we usually kind of use that 65 divider. But we do see some people with early onset. I've assisted people in their 40s that have it.
Wow. Yeah. So I guess the big thing, I mean, so the Alzheimer Society of Sarnia-Lambton looks after the obvious to those suffering from Alzheimer's. But there's more to it than just that, right? It's the caregivers as well that are still home and or even if they're not at home, they're still going to the nursing home or the residence and still providing some care. And that can certainly be stressful to the caregivers. So there's some relief for that from the Alzheimer Society, correct?
Absolutely. And just if I can make one point before that, mention about our respite programs and day program. We help anybody with any cognitive loss, basically. So it's not just Alzheimer's disease. It's sort of our name is a bit of a misnomer.
Okay.
That we help anybody that is affected by any type of dementia or mild cognitive impairment, any kind of condition of the brain that's causing impairment. And if they should be referred on to another agency like the acquired brain injury, we will refer on to that as well, make sure that their needs are met that way. But I've assisted a family where their family member had brain cancer and they were seeing changes in how the person was able to communicate and what was occurring. So I would talk to the family about best approach for care. So we do lots of information support for anybody who is the care partner of the person who has dementia or another condition.
Right.
We also, when you're talking about the services for respite, we do have paid professional staff that will go in and stay with the person while the family member can have a break or they need to go to a doctor's appointment or whatever their needs are, because it's often 24-hour care. And we also have expanded just this year, I guess it's last year, not 2019.
Happy 2020.
That we now have a day program and are hoping to expand that. So one day we're moving towards 2 and we know that the demand is there, that we're going to need to expand that in the future.
Right.
Try to do things for the care partners. Like we have February 7th, we have a spa day coming up. So Wellings of Corona is actually hosting that for us. So we want to encourage self-care for those people because it's a long journey for them and they tend to wear themselves out and they burn out. So we're giving them, manis, pedis, massage therapy, Reiki. There's all kinds of events going on. So we help the entire family unit that is living with this disease, because it's not just the person that has been diagnosed that lives with this disease. It's everybody.
And the care partner also often benefits from our active living programs as well. So we have outings, we have different events that they can attend. So it's the person living with dementia, but also the person who's living with the person living with dementia, or a family friend, or whoever else may be assisting them.
Also, new last year, Dave, is our social rec program, where Christine talked a bit about it, but they go on outings, but that's for the care partner as well as the person living with dementia.
Right. There's a lot of, because the obvious stress that goes along with dealing with any disease, let's be honest, right? But so it's nice there's that relief out there. And, obviously you don't have the spa every day, but you have like regular weekly groups and support groups and discussions. And I know lots of people have been affected by it, and they're really, really grateful for that relief. It seems to be like the Alzheimer Society is like another family to them, right?
They also often make relationships from the other people who are coming here attending our groups and all that as well, and become friends with the number of people here. And one of the things we hear a lot of times from people who are living with dementia that go to our early stage group is sometimes they've lost some of those social connections they had before, and they've really found that by joining us here. And we do see friendships grow out of that. We also see lots of people that I think the hardest thing I hear in my job is people saying, I wish I'd come to you sooner. I didn't know there's any help, because there's not this cure that we can offer them, but we can help with best approach. We can help with what services are out there that should be accessing. We can help with just as even little tips we learn from care partners themselves that come back to us and go, hey, you know what I learned today? That if you put in your taxes this way, you know, you'll get whatever it might be. We're learning actually from the people who are living it as well and bringing that back as well. And that's what you learn in support groups and all that as well.
Yeah. Well, and that feeling of, hey, I'm not the only one going through what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. And you know, there's, and then there's that guilt that goes along sometimes with, you know, like, I'm going to go away on vacation for a few days, or I'm just going to leave you with somebody else, and dealing with that guilt. That's I would imagine that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah, and that's also, we could also give tips on if you are planning on a trip, how to best organize that before you go. Any of those little things. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's easy ever. Right. But we can assist through that. And I don't think people realize the little extras that we can do to assist them in the day-to-day. Yeah.
There's a lot of education that goes on from the Alzheimer Society out into the community as well. Where and I forget the doctor's name. That I know I was at a presentation last year, and he gave a nice presentation just to kind of help understanding, because even family members who aren't necessarily around the person suffering all the time, but then they see them at a family reunion or a birthday party or something. Those kind of things help them understand just how to respond to certain things, right?
Absolutely. We have a number of different educational programs for people caring for somebody. And now I've forgotten the date coming up. If you contact the Alzheimer Society, there's one coming up in February, looking at what we call care essentials. So best approach, communication tips, all of that. And we are moving it to Grace United Church, and that's where you went to the other presentation. Yeah. Just because the demand has been too high for our meeting room here. So we want to create more space to have more people be able to attend.
Yeah, it's I go back to that guilt thing again, you know, because you both know my father suffers from dementia, Alzheimer's, and there's a filter that goes. There's a filter that disappears sometimes, you know, and when you're looking at that person that you've known all of your life, and then all of a sudden it's just a total different person, and that sometimes can be downright mean, or so it seems. And then you try to correct them, but then that correction it doesn't seem to carry over, right? Mm-hmm. So you know, that person that's living right there is married to somebody new, I mm-hmm. guess. And
I think in general, none of us really like to be corrected. There might be a few people out there, but I know I don't really like to be corrected. So we tend to push back when people correct us. So even if it's well-meaning, the person with dementia, they actually get a condition called anosognosia that says, I don't know, I'm right. Like it's part of the condition. So when we tell them they're wrong and they're not safe to do this and they can't do that, well, especially when you're the son who's telling them that role reversal doesn't always go over very well either.
Yep.
So that's part of how we teach to people how you can help the person with these decisions without coming in a way that they are going to push back at you. Yeah. That sometimes approaching and giving them maybe a couple choices, they feel like they at least had a choice in the matter. Or, just little things you can do to make it so the person's not going to feel that you're trying to cause them trouble versus trying to assist.
Or telling me what to do, especially if I'm the younger one. You don't tell me what to do, I tell you what to do. And
absolutely,
I find that, Dave. yeah, okay. Well, and I find, and I'll just share this because I know, and every case is different, but I find what works for me when talking with my dad is, I don't really try to tell him what to do or behave or anything, but we just have conversations where they don't make him feel like somebody's telling him what to do, whatever that trigger might be for him to react the way he does. Mm-hmm. But, and it sounds weird to say, do you remember when? And mm-hmm. talking about things from way in the past, for my dad, it's like when you talk about way back when you worked here and when you did this. And I was visiting Dad the other day in the hospital, and some gentleman that he used to work with came up with a card with everybody's name on it that went to the breakfast that he, and just had that conversation, and he remembered all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. like it was yesterday.
You're using what he's able to do. So what we learn with sort of typically people with Alzheimer's disease, the short-term memory is what they really struggle with. Yeah. So if you go to visit and you say, hey, what did you eat today? Who did you see today? They may not be able to answer that. But if you ask them about their job, you ask them about their marriage, you ask them about their kids when they're younger, you ask them about things from multiple years ago, they might remember things more than you do. And you might be quite shocked.
For sure.
So you're basically helping them to feel that they don't have a problem, and it's relaxing to their brain to be able to do what they can do. We also find that with the use of music. That's another part of the brain that functions very well as music. So that's another program we have here.
I was going to say, talk about that program, because I know that's been used a lot.
So we have a program here called Mindful Music, and we loan out, usually it's an iPod Shuffle, but it's a musical device that will hold on, hundreds and hundreds of songs. And we program it to the music the person likes. That's sort of the key as well, too. We don't just go, here's go listen to this and have music on it. Playlist. It's what is their playlist, and we'd all have our own unique playlist. So there might be songs to avoid. There might be songs that's absolutely the song you should play, and everybody has different taste in that. So we have volunteers, and we have it set up that we can figure out what their music is and put it on and test to make sure that's the music they love. And it can really benefit people greatly. We see it really help with behaviors. We see it really engage people who aren't very engaged sometimes. And we're really excited about that program. We have, I believe, over 200 of them out in the community right now in long-term care homes and people's own homes as well. And I always, whenever I talk about this program about doing a presentation to the public, I say, if you've got an iPod Shuffle that's collecting dust in your drawer, please give it to us because we will use it. And unfortunately, the particular device isn't made anymore, and that's our ideal device, but we can use other ones as well. But so if anybody doesn't have one or has one they're not using, we will put it to use. And
even like an old iPhone that you don't use anymore that you've thrown in the drawer, you can put music on that, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, you can. So we wouldn't loan out iPhones to people, but if you want to do it for your own family member, absolutely.
Right.
Just a warning with using an iPhone, though, is make sure that they're not dialing 911. That most phones, when they aren't used that way anymore.
Okay, forget I said that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is all great and wonderful, and you guys, I know you do a fantastic job of all the programs and everything, and myself and many people are grateful for this. Now let's talk the nasty word.
Okay.
Money.
Yeah.
And that comes back over to you, Marie, because that's pretty much your job. That nasty word of money that we need.
The nasty money.
Right. Well, I always say, quoted an old friend of mine. He said, "Money isn't everything, but it is up there with oxygen. You do kind of need it to live.
Oxygen and water."
Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
How does the Alzheimer Society get their oxygen and water?
Well, we do receive, I think the statistic is 58% of our funding, 58 to 60% from the LIN. Okay. But the rest of it, as you know, we have to fundraise. So we have, a calendar of events that we do every year. Then we have a couple things coming up actually to celebrate Alzheimer Awareness Month. We have the Legionnaire game on the 23rd. That's next Thursday.
Okay.
Christine will be there with a crew, and they are going to be handing out Finding Your Way information. That's not a fundraising component of it, but we also have the tickets available. So they're $20 each. There they are, $20 each, or they are, this is the price, $8. The price was on them. Is the price on there? Anyway, we have the tickets available here. 10 for adult, 8 for seniors.
Okay.
So we will be there with information. If anybody just wants to come out and pop out, Christine will be there along with some other people that will be able to answer any questions. Sometimes you can't, you have your person with you, and this might be a good opportunity to just come out and get some information. So we'll be there. And then also on the 31st of January, Synergy 150 is a local choir. I think there's like 200 people in the choir. They have a program called Ride the Tide of Emotions. So it's music through the generations. I hear they do a lot of a mean version of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is on the 31st at 7 at the library auditorium. And we have those tickets available here as well. They're $15 each. So we'd like to promote that. But then after that, as you know, our next big event is what? Come on. It's the walk, the IG Wealth Management Walk for Alzheimer's. And you have a team.
Why don't do that to me on the spot? Like I was already thinking Margaritaville. Well,
that's coming up too, but that's not till September. So
yes, the IG walk. Yeah, we kicked some butt in that last year. We were pretty proud to say that.
I think your team got 3rd place.
Something like that. Yeah, well, we were short by like $1.
Yeah,
it was really close.
I'll sponsor you for the $1 for this year,
good.
actually. So actually, the walk is May 31st, Sunday, May 31st this year. It's at the Suncor Agora. So teams will be able to register in the next, probably the next 2 weeks. You will go online to just Google Alzheimer Society, and there'll be a link to the walk site.
Okay.
So that's another one of our big events coming up.
Well, you have to make sure you send me all this in an email and messenger as well, so we can share this out on our Facebook page as well and get all the attention for that.
I think you should use the $20 GoFundMe to put towards your team effort this year that you did the other day. When you were at the Sting game, you had a GoFundMe page going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a Facebook thing popped up when I just said Alzheimer's, and then you can choose a that's right. Yeah. Okay. I'll do that.
There you go. You're $20. You're $20 ahead.
Right on. I've already got my list from last year. So I already told them all when I hit them last year, say, just so you know, you do this once, like, I'm going to ask you every year. And they're like, yeah. So,
there you go. That's the way to do it, Dave.
New people. Let's talk about the walk for a minute, because what I found interesting about the walk, I mean, it's obviously for a great cause and all that stuff. But it was a time for families to come together. And I have family kind of all over the place. So we and I have a step family, so we kind of got to connect a little more than we normally would. And to see other people in our community who were participating because they just wanted some exercise, or of course, a lot of people were doing it because of someone, a loved one. To see those familiar faces in our community and have those conversations. I know I had several conversations where it was like, oh, so what brought you here today? That was my question to everybody. And it was, and then they started, oh, my mom or my dad or my son, my daughter. And to be able to have that thing, the common denominator, I guess, or the thing that we could all relate to, just as families, there was a really good aura floating around there that day,
I agree. There was a really good vibe. There was one family that I think had 35 or 40 people. Ida's something, and they did a really cool family picture out on the rocks. It was really nice to see them, and they were all walking for their grandmother.
Yeah, see, that's just cool, right?
Yeah, it is. And then we added, because we wanted to promote it as a family event, we added the Rotary of Sarnia Club breakfast.
Oh yeah.
So you can also get your pancake and sausage breakfast, and we had some musical entertainment, which we will do again this year. And it was just a really fun family event. And it doesn't take up your entire day. The walk starts at 9. You're out of there by 11:30ish, and you've eaten, and you still have the whole day to do whatever else you want.
Yeah, and who couldn't stand to lose a few? Anyway, it's good for you, right? So just get out and do it. It's. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you do the walk before you get to eat, so.
Right. So then you can lose it and then put it back on. You shouldn't eat first.
Pretty much.
It has to be, it's a tough gig though, sometimes, right, Marie and Christine, to be able to connect and find new creative ways to connect, and then keep that money flowing in at the same time. And obviously people who are affected by this would typically support the Alzheimer Society, and and what they're doing. But are you finding that those outside of that realm are also supporting the Alzheimer Society as well, like local businesses and just people in general?
Local businesses, because Alzheimer's or other dementias affects 1 in 3 people somehow, some way, like a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor. So it affects everybody. So there isn't anybody that can say, well, I don't know anybody with dementia, I'm not going to support it. So it does affect a lot of people. Businesses have been really, really good. We have some that I've cultivated over the last 2 years that I've been with the Alzheimer Society, and they're all on board every year for everything that we do. Some of them do have people in their family with dementia, but others don't. So Sarnia is a generous community to begin with. Yeah, they are. And we created our other new event. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and you attended that event, and it was a really fun event. That's an annual event for us. We're doing it again in September. So we've got our sponsors back for that, but we're always looking for more. The more sponsorship we have, the more people attend, the more money we make. But I've attended a lot of galas in my day, and that was really a fun one because it was laid back. People came dressed as parrot heads, and you get the Caribbean appetizers.
Some had parrots on their head.
Some did have parrots on their heads, and we're going to go all out with the Caribana-ish kind of theme this year. So it's going to be fun.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for your efforts out there. Christine, is there anything else you want to add before we start wrapping things up?
I think also mentioning that we serve Lambton County. Make sure that people know it's not just Sarnia. And if
Right.
somebody's outside Lambton, I was talking to a gentleman at the hockey game this weekend that said, "Oh, my mother lives in Hamilton." I said, "Well, that doesn't matter to us. You're here, you need assistance, let us know. Or if you're living in Hamilton and your mother lives here, just contact us and we'll help." There's no boundaries really. And if there is, we will refer you on to the other Alzheimer. We all worked very well together anyway. So I just want to make sure that people know that we serve Lambton County again, any type of dementia. That we do have dates coming up for the Finding Way program. I'm going to mention those quickly. We are doing it with the Sarnia Police on February 1st, so that's a Saturday, and we'll be at the police station from 10 to 2. With the OPP, we're going to be out in Forest. We're going to use the ambulance bay that's out by the recreational center there.
Okay.
I'll be there from 10 to 1, and again, that's also on a Saturday, February 15th. And then we're doing another one in Point Edward as well with the OPP. We're going to have council chambers in the village of Point Edward, and that's from 5 to 7 p.m. So we're trying to meet different times of days as well to reach people. So that's on our webpage if people want to go there to look at it or call us to learn more about it. And again, you don't have to wait for a registry day. And also we're doing with the OPP, doesn't matter where you live in Lambton County, when you come to that registry day, you're registering with the OPP. So if you live in Waterford and you come to the one in Forest, that's fine. We just want to make sure we get you registered with OPP, and Jill Hardy with the OPP will assist us with that. And then Chris Nordham in Sarnia will help us with the Sarnia Police Services registry. And they can connect those two as well too. So
right.
If you come to the wrong day, it doesn't matter. We will sort it out.
Good to know. Well, ladies, make sure whoever's in charge of that, give me a list of all these dates and prices of tickets and send that to me, however you want to send it to me and reach me. And we'll make sure that I'll put it in my calendar, and we can keep mentioning those dates as they come up on the show here as well. Thanks so much for your time today. And I really appreciate all your efforts down there, as many do at the Alzheimer Society. I'll give you one last chance to throw anything. Marie, have you got anything?
Only if there's any business owners out there that would like to sponsor one of our events, that they can get a hold of me at 519-332-4444. I'll always take their money.
Right. Good for you. That's fantastic. Again, ladies, thank you again. Appreciate your time here today. And I'm sure we'll see you out and about somewhere in Sarnia-Lambton.
Always thanks for your support.
You're welcome. Bye for now. There you go. Marie and Christine there giving their pitch to everybody and talking about everything that is important from the Alzheimer Society. And January is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. So go find out more. We'll show all the websites here. I'm self-producing again, so I'm trying to do everything as I can. There you go. There's their Facebook page. Once again, Carinder, I know you've been asking a lot of questions that I just couldn't get to, but All the questions that you're asking out there are available on their Facebook page. There is also their website and a phone number if you want to call and find out more information. What about international? I'm not sure how that goes, but I'm sure you could be able to find an Alzheimer Society anywhere near you using Google, right? That's a good place to start. So thank you again to Christine and Marie for stopping by here today. And thanks again to all of you for watching. Going to be doing a little bit different format here on the show with David Burrows every week. And I'll be doing some more throughout the week as well. So stay tuned for more details on that. Now, before we do go, I have a lot of people to thank, and I want to say thank you to AG Event Graphics. You can visit them online at askguy.ca. They've been supporting from the very start of the show for 8 years. So thank you to Guy and Kevin and everybody down there for their support here on the show. Also, Joe's Discount Tire. The snow is coming around here in Sarnia-Lambton, just at the end of Indian Road, right before the overpass. Make sure you go for all your tire needs. Go see Joe's Discount Tire. And, of course, Oswald's Diner, family-owned, not just another diner. And, of course, our friends Active Ears Hearing Centers, where better hearing begins with you. And it all is thanks to all of you for watching every week. That's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.